the hidden architects of human destiny. Why the chosen are chosen. What if I told you that not all chosen ones are the same? That there are different types, each carrying a unique spiritual frequency, a sacred assignment embedded into their soul blueprint. Some are here to spark chaos that leads to renewal. Some are here to hold space in silence. Some are here to walk between realms, while others are here to anchor the divine into the mundane, brick by brick. But all of them, every single one, are duality ambassadors, not light workers, not shadow warriors. Both. They are the bridge, the voltage, the paradox. These are the ones who were not sent here to escape the world, but to transform it from the inside out. And maybe, just maybe, you are one of them. Maybe you've always known. Or maybe you've just begun to suspect that your pain, your depth, your contradictions weren't signs of something wrong with you, but clues pointing to something ancient, something holy. Let's get one thing clear right now. Being a chosen one doesn't mean being perfect, enlightened, or above it all. It means being initiated. And initiation is violent. It rips away the protective illusions you inherited from the world. It drags you through the fire of your own unhealed lineage. It forces you to confront the paradox of being human and divine in the same breath. And through that furnace, something rare is forged, a being capable of embodying duality without being destroyed by it. That's the whole point. These ambassadors are not here to pick sides in the cosmic war between light and dark. They are here to carry both within them and still choose love, still choose truth, still choose presence. That is what makes them dangerous to the system and sacred to the soul. And if you've ever felt like you were being torn in two by your own inner conflict, that might not be dysfunction, it might be your assignment. The first type of chosen one is the mirror. This is the soul who reflects back to others exactly what they are afraid to see in themselves. Sometimes they trigger people without saying a word. Sometimes their mere presence exposes lies, delusions, and masks. The mirror doesn't need to teach, preach, or convince. They are the lesson. But this power comes at a cost. They are often misunderstood, rejected, or scapegoated because people don't want to see their own shadow, and the mirror makes it impossible to look away. If you are a mirror, you've probably spent your life wondering why people either idolize you or resent you, why they project onto you their deepest wounds or their highest hopes. The truth is, you weren't sent to be liked. You were sent to reveal. And your job is not to soften your reflection to make others comfortable. It's to hold it steady, even when it gets heavy, even when they run. Because one day, they'll thank you, even if only in silence. The second type is the alchemist. This is the soul who transforms pain into power, grief into gold, wounds into wisdom. Alchemists don't just survive the darkness, they eat it. They metabolize it into something useful, something beautiful, something that helps others navigate their own suffering. But here's the catch. Before they can transmute anything, they must first embody it. This means the alchemist often lives through hell before they even realize who they are. Addiction, abuse, depression, loss. They don't read about spiritual transformation, they live it, raw and unfiltered. And that's why they're so powerful. Because when they speak, it's not theory, it's truth born from fire. The alchemist doesn't offer advice, they offer frequency. And when you're in their presence, you feel it. You feel the weight of what they've survived and the grace with which they carry it now. If you're an alchemist, your pain was never punishment. It was preparation. You were never meant to be destroyed by the fire. You were meant to become it. Now, the third type is one of the rarest and most misunderstood, the veil walker. This is the soul who can move between worlds, physical and spiritual, conscious and unconscious, seen and unseen. Veil walkers often have psychic gifts, intuitive downloads, and dreams that feel like memories. They see things others don't, feel things others won't. And they've likely spent much of their life wondering if they were crazy. But they're not. They're attuned. They are the connectors between dimensions, the messengers of the ineffable. But this gift can be isolating. Because who do you talk to when you've seen things no one else believes in? That's the price the veil walker pays. But they're not here to be understood. They're here to translate spirit into form. And when they embrace their gift without fear, they become oracles, healers, even artists who download entire realities through their work. If you're a veil walker, you must stop doubting what you feel. You must stop editing your truth to fit into a world that fears the unknown, because the unknown is where you live. The fourth type is the disruptor. This is the chosen one who was born to break systems, not out of hate, but out of love. The disruptor sees through the lies, the fake smiles, the shallow answers. They can't stand injustice, hypocrisy, or spiritual bypassing, and they will call it out even when it costs them everything. The disruptor's job is not to maintain peace, it's to shake the collective awake. But this role is exhausting, because when you challenge the system pushes back. Hard. If you're a disruptor, you've probably been labeled difficult, rebellious, too much. But you're not too much. You're exactly enough to make the shift happen. You carry the codes of collapse and rebirth. You are not here to follow rules. You're here to rewrite them. But you must be wise in your rage. Let it inform you, not consume you. Let it be sacred fire, not reckless destruction. Because when you lead from love, even your disruption becomes divine. The fifth type is the anchor. This is the soul who brings heaven down to earth. The anchor doesn't rely on visions or downloads. They embody the divine in daily life. They are the ones who make the mystical practical. They build businesses, raise families, heal communities, not through flashy miracles, but through presence, service, and consistency. Anchors are often overlooked because they don't seek the spotlight, but without them, nothing lasts. They are the roots that keep the collective grounded, and they often carry the deepest burdens, ancestral trauma, karmic loops, collective pain, because they are strong enough to hold it without breaking. If you're an anchor, your gift is your stability, your ability to stay when others run, to serve when others seek, to build when others dream. And that is sacred, that is divine. Don't let the noise make you forget your worth. You are the quiet miracle that holds the world together. The sacred code within chaos. How the final two chosen types hold the balance of all worlds. Now we arrive at the final two types of chosen ones, perhaps the most mysterious and paradoxical of them all. These souls carry within them the codes not just of light or dark, but of the sacred convergence, the place where opposites collide and give birth to something new. The sixth type is the balancer. If you are a balancer, you have likely lived a life of contradiction. You've always found yourself walking between extremes, between love and loss, between power and surrender, between chaos and serenity. You may have even questioned your own identity because nothing ever felt fixed. But that's because you were never meant to be one thing. You are the living bridge. You are the lie of the storm. Balancers don't choose sides, they hold both with equal reverence. And that is a divine assignment. Because duality is not meant to be resolved, it's meant to be integrated. The balancer teaches us that harmony is not the absence of conflict, but the presence of awareness. If you are a balancer, your life will never be linear. It will be layered. It will be rich. And often, it will be misunderstood. But your wisdom is profound, because you live what most only theorize about. You are the embodiment of paradox, and in that paradox, you become a portal to truth. You may wonder why your life has felt like a battlefield of opposing energies, why every time you find peace, chaos follows, why love so often comes with loss, why your inner world feels like a conversation between two gods arguing inside your soul. But what if that's not dysfunction? What if that's design? Balancers are often born into families or communities rife with polarity, extreme wealth and poverty, spiritual fervor and emotional neglect, deep affection and deep abandonment. These contrasting forces shape them from the start, training them to hold space for contradiction without collapsing. And this is their gift. Where others see confusion, the balancer sees a pattern. Where others react, the balancer responds. If you are a balancer, your presence alone can neutralize a room. Not because you silence the noise, but because you contain it. You're not here to simplify the world. You're here to make it whole. And to do that, you must first make yourself whole. That means stop choosing one side and start owning all of you. Even the parts you were told to hide, especially those. The final type is the catalyst, and this one is not for the faint of heart. Catalysts are chosen to initiate awakening through disruption. They don't teach through comfort, they teach through shock. Their presence accelerates change in others, often without trying. Relationships end, truths are faced, illusions collapse after encountering a catalyst. But here's the secret most don't know. Catalysts rarely feel in control of this gift. Many of them suffer deeply because they don't understand why everything around them seems to burn. Why people enter their life and then leave with their old selves shattered. Why they walk into a room and suddenly everyone feels exposed or emotional. But the catalyst didn't choose this role. It chose them. They are the wild cards of the divine, the ones who carry the lightning bolt of transformation. And yes, it's lonely, because people don't always like the ones who wake them up, but they need them. And if you are a catalyst, you must learn to stop apologizing for the fire you carry. You are not here to be safe. You are here to ignite what's been asleep for too long. When a catalyst embraces their power, they become unstoppable, not because they dominate, but because they liberate. They don't seek to destroy for the sake of destruction. They destroy what is false, stagnant, unconscious. They are the spiritual earthquakes that shake souls out of slumber. But here's where the maturity must come in. A catalyst who hasn't healed will sabotage everything they touch, because unrefined fire burns indiscriminately. But a catalyst who has done their inner work, they become surgical with their energy. They know when to burn and when to bless. They understand that not every moment needs revolution. Some moments just need presence. If you are a catalyst, your power is sacred, and with it comes great responsibility. You must learn when to disrupt and when to hold, because your fire is not just meant to destroy, it's meant to illuminate. And if you learn to wield it with love, you will not only awaken others, you will awaken yourself. Living as the divine contradiction, the inner trials and sacred burdens of God's ambassadors. To live as one of God's duality ambassadors is to wake up each day holding the unbearable tension between the infinite and the finite, You know you are spirit, and yet you bleed. You know you are eternal, and yet you watch people leave. You carry divine codes in your soul, but you still forget where you placed your keys. This is not a mistake, it is the sacred contradiction. The chosen ones among us are not immune to the pain of life. They are intimately acquainted with it. In fact, their very role demands it. Because how can you guide others through the storm if you've never known its winds? How can you speak of awakening unless you've slept through your own nightmares? The ambassador of duality is not some polished, perfect being. They are raw, weathered, scarred by life, and still willing to love. That's the power. Not that they avoid suffering, but that they transcend it without bypassing it. You see, we weren't chosen because we were the strongest, smartest, or holiest. We were chosen because we remembered. Even in the fog, even in the ache, a part of us whispered, "This isn't all there is." And that whisper became a compass. It led us through loss, through failure, through betrayals so deep we thought we'd never breathe again. But we did. We always do. And with each resurrection, we carried back something more, a deeper truth, a sharper clarity, a softer heart. That's the alchemy of duality. It doesn't just stretch you, it expands you, until one day you look in the mirror and realize you are no longer who you were. You've become a living paradox, grounded and cosmic, fierce and tender, grieving and grateful. And in that moment, you realize something truly wild, that the contradiction is the truth. It always was. But no one tells you how lonely this path can feel. When you see what others don't, when you feel what others deny, when your very being threatens the illusions people cling to for safety. You might have noticed how relationships shift, how people drift away without explanation, how sometimes your silence triggers more than your words ever could. That's the weight we carry. We become mirrors, catalysts, balancers, and bridges, all while learning to anchor ourselves in a world that often feels upside down. And yet, we endure. Not because we're invincible, but because we're committed. We know we didn't come here to fit in. We came to shift the frequency. And that shift begins not through performance, but through presence, through choosing truth, even when it costs us comfort, through choosing alignment, even when it costs us approval. That's what makes this path so brave. Have you ever sat with the realization that you may never be fully understood by anyone? That your depth will be too much for most, and your silence too loud? Have you ever wondered whether you were designed to walk alone, not as punishment, but as preparation? Because here's the truth. Solitude is the training ground of the chosen. It is where we remember who we are without the noise. It is where we build the muscle of discernment, the backbone of faith. It's where we stop seeking validation and start trusting our own frequency. Because when you're called to hold both light and shadow, you can't afford to be swayed by opinion. You must become anchored in the divine center within you, the still point that doesn't flinch, doesn't chase, doesn't shrink. And once you find that center, you become unshakable. Not untouchable, but unshakable. The world is changing. Systems are collapsing. Truth is rising. And the chosen ones are being activated in waves. Some of us are waking up for the first time. Some of us have been walking this path for decades. But now we are being called together. Not to agree on everything, not to create another doctrine, but to embody the next evolution of human consciousness. We are not here to save the world. We are here to remember it back to wholeness. And that starts by embodying our own. Each mirror, each catalyst, each balancer, veil walker, alchemist, anchor, disruptor, we need all of them. We need you, but you must show up fully. You must stop hiding behind the stories that kept you safe. You must stop minimizing your gifts to make others comfortable. You must stop waiting for permission to be who you already are. This is the moment. This is the call. And it's not coming from outside you, it's coming from within. So let me ask you something. What part of you has been waiting to be claimed? What sacred gift have you buried because the world told you it wasn't practical, wasn't normal, wasn't safe? What power inside you have you mistaken for a problem? Because everything you think disqualifies you, the sensitivity, the intensity, the wild dreams, the rage, the doubt, that's exactly what makes you the one. You don't need to become anything else. You just need to remember who you were before the world told you who to be. That's the essence of duality mastery, not escaping the human, but infusing it with the divine. Not bypassing pain, but becoming the presence that transforms it. That's what it means to be an ambassador of God's duality. You don't run from the dark. You learn to walk with it, like a friend, like a teacher. And in doing so, you become the one others look to when their world begins to fall apart. We are not here to avoid the storm. We are here to become the eye of it. That calm, that clarity, that unwavering light that reminds others who they are in the middle of their chaos. We don't do this by preaching. We do it by living truthfully, by crying when it hurts, by laughing when it heals, by loving even when it's hard, by being real in a world addicted to illusion. And maybe that's the final secret, that the greatest spiritual act isn't ascending into the heavens, but descending fully into your humanity and loving it all the way through. That is the work. That is the mission. That is the path of the chosen. And if you're still here, still listening, still breathing through the paradox, then maybe, just maybe, you've been one of us all along.